Welcome everyone. My name is Richard Clark. I'm the principal at the AIAS, the Australasian Institute of Ayurvedic Studies. Here we are on Dhanvantri Jayanti Day to celebrate the gift and the wonder of Ayurveda. Salutations to Dhanvantri, the preceptor of Ayurveda who was once convinced by the Devas to provide humanity such instructions as to how to overcome suffering, attain good health, and lead a purposeful life, or what is known as the four aims of living. Acharya Charaka, the famous Ayurvedic physician, has also mentioned that good health stands at the very root of our accomplishments. So, salutations to Dhanvantri. Namami Dhanvantrim Adi Devam Surasirar Vandita Pada Padmam Loke Jara Rugbhayam Mrityunasham Dhataramisham Vividaushidinam. So what is health? All students of Ayurveda will come across Acharya Sushruta's famous statement as to what constitutes good health. Samadoshaha, samagnischa, samadhatu malakriyaha, prasannat mendriya manaha, swastha ityabhidhiyate. It says that a healthy person is one in whom the three doshas are balanced, or samadosha, the digestive fire, or agni, our metabolic processes, are in a state of balance or harmony, samagni. The dhatus or tissues are balanced. The elimination of waste in this person are timely and correct. And where also the soul, the senses and the mind feel tranquil and contented. We should all reflect on these words as they contain within them a well-considered and compact but far-reaching definition of health. It's the very reason Ayurveda now attracts such high interest around the world, since the reductionist and disintegrated approach to health and disease has inherent limitations and is increasingly unsatisfactory. It's Ayurveda's, and perhaps only in Ayurveda's domain, that holistic health has been expressed and most deeply considered. The word Atma, the soul, is included, without which we can't be said to have a fully inclusive consideration of all aspects of life. Holistic healing implies the interconnectedness of human and other life forms with nature and the interconnected relationship between the constituents of our body and mind and our very thoughts and mode of living. We should again reflect deeply on the statement Sushruta provided regarding swastha, or health. It's a defining statement that soars above the current WHO definition of health, which is occasionally touted as being comprehensive and holistic, based on a more nebulous or vague notion of what is holistic health. The Atman there is not mentioned or lacking, therefore it can't be completely well considered. I can personally bear witness now to the fact that Ayurveda has grown immensely in public consciousness over the last 40 years in the West. But we have much work to do, much work cut out for us if Ayurveda's full potential is to be more fully expressed and realised. In 2021, next year, we at the AIAS are looking at the first instance in quarter of a century where we're having 2 first-year intakes of Ayurveda students in that very first year. It's never been even conceivable in the past. So it's a wonderful thing to see so much interest in Ayurveda. Now, some are asking for thoughts on where Ayurveda will be in 10 years' time. The simple answer is that it will be where it is. Ayurveda will always be around in the hearts and the minds of those who connect with it, who need it, who honour it, who practice it. To what extent it can truly flourish is yet to be seen. No amount of hopeful thoughts and wishes will be sufficient to make dreams come true. It's all about action. We rarely consider the notion of causation with regards our actions. Effects have causes. Action and committed, dedicated work will be required with divine grace to put Ayurveda in its right place here and manifest its potential. It'll take careful scrutiny and meditation on Ayurveda's definition of health beyond a rather glib notion of doshic balance or even a dry academic rendering of the intricacies and consequences of doshic imbalance if we're to tease out the holistic, the full implications of Ayurveda. We must strive to understand the intricacies and consequences of Ayurveda's full definition of health or swastha. Nevertheless, We all have our hopes. Going forwards, there needs to be respect towards Ayurveda from other systems and from Ayurveda towards other systems and bodies of knowledge. Recently, Dr. Yogendra Gupta, president of the All India Institute of Medical Science, said in a panel discussion, the much needed dialogue between the different systems of medicine should happen for an effective system of health and well-being, integrative medicine, incorporating the best from both systems of medicine. This is something that should be increasingly practiced, and patients must be informed of the advantages and the disadvantages of both for specific conditions. Dr. Gupta said, as to Ayurvedic systems making derogatory comments towards the allopathic system and the allopathic doctors making derogatory comments about the Ayurvedic system, I think gone are the days. There may be some idiots, he says, doing that, and they must be condemned. Nobody has the right. And if anybody says this system is ridiculous, the person themselves is ridiculous because they don't understand the philosophy, the science and usefulness of that system. Those of us involved in the world of Ayurveda should take these words to heart when we do occasionally experience unfair criticism or even idiotic condemnation, and strengthen our resolve. They're simply statements arising from bigotry, arrogance, and in short, ignorance, despite the fact that the issuer might have an IQ of 180. India, the home of Ayurveda, is known to support diverse and pluralistic health traditions. With great debt to the Modi administration, over recent years there's been a renewed zeal in upvaluing Ayurveda, and not only Ayurveda, but the Unani, the Siddha, Yoga, Naturopathic, Homeopathic and Tibetan Soa Rigpa systems of healing, together with allopathic medicine. We should remember that the term Ayurveda is not limited to medicine and management of disease, but rather implies an approach to living, approach to life, an approach not necessarily faddish, a faddish lifestyle that will fade again as the next fad arises in the marketplace, but something enduring. For Ayurveda to prosper and to have greater impact, its principles should be available to and applied at the individual, the community and the healthcare provider levels, and not be limited to just the medical system. There's a significant role here to be played by the graduates of the ARAS and other institutions who feel moved to engage with local community and help deliver helpful advice, perspectives and tools to the general public through simple and useful Ayurvedic education. Ayurveda may face challenges as some look to it simply for new pharmacological models, substances, others wanting to use the name Ayurveda for marketing products and commerce, others wanting to use Ayurveda to advance some personal agenda, others looking for name and fame, some looking to cherry pick from Ayurveda with some notion that they need to complement an otherwise unclear and underdeveloped health model. Teachers of Ayurveda hold great karmic responsibility in clearly and authentically communicating and advancing Ayurvedic education. Then students too carry a great responsibility in acquiring authentic and hard-won skills and knowledge by studying diligently and serving Ayurveda. Thankfully, there are many great Ayurvedic Vaidyas who walk the talk of Ayurveda every day and teach with open hearts in the hope of advancing Ayurveda. And then there are more and more students coming to Ayurveda in so many diverse countries and locations, from Ghana in Africa to Hungary, from Korea to Brazil, with well-meaning intentions and sincere seeking. We should, as students, work very hard, as I mentioned, diligently toward acquiring the best knowledge possible and applying that in our own and others' lives. We're fortunate that we have teachers like Dr. Ajit of the ARAS who guides us all towards turning our hopes and dreams into a reality by teaching authentic and holistic Ayurveda. To this end, we might all work towards the realization of our dreams for Ayurveda and witness, or at least be part of in our lifetimes, a great flowering of the potential of Ayurveda, and awaken great insight into purposefulness of life and the reliefs of suffering, in keeping with the original intentions of Dhanwantri's efforts. To anyone who argues that Ayurveda is principally a medical or therapeutic system and not involved in human potential, you simply must re-examine the early mission statements of Ayurveda, which themselves rely upon the question and the answer to what is health, what is Svasta. Thank you very much.